In a city built on risk and reward, the A's are stacking chips higher than the strip itself, turning the heat of the desert into the fuel for baseball's next great dynasty. Every contender's nightmare has a name. That name, the A's, Dreamcrushers of September. Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Booney, one name, all passion, and I've been an A's fan for over 40 years now. I've basically seen it all. I've seen Ricky run wild. I've seen the Big Three. I've seen that thing they call Mount Davis. I've seen the A's win championships, win playoffs, win World Series, and now, for the first time, I'm seeing them play the role of spoiler, or in other words, Dreamcrushers. It's different. It's fun. And it is something. With 11 games left in the season, I couldn't ask for anything more. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. And if you can, go to Podbay, Apple Podcasts. Give me a 5-star review. It does help. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Today, guys, wow. The A's snatched game one at Fenway 2-1 with a patience-then-pounce blueprint. Boston scratched an unearned run in the third. Carlos Narváez double, and Rob Refsnyder scored on a center field misplay by Butler, while rookie Connelly Early again looked nasty. I mean, Connelly Early, I can't say enough about the kid. When I saw him the first time, I was like, who's this kid remind me of? And today, it hit me. This kid looks like a John Lester. This kid is legit. He is filthy. He is 97, 98 with a filthy changeup, filthy off speed, great velocity on his fastball. He commands it. He spots it. My God. He was unreal. And why did Joey Cora pull him after 5 1/3 innings? No idea. No idea. He had 80 pitches. The first time the A's faced him, 90. No walks. And the bullpen came in. Soderstrom right off the bench. A matter of time, one of those lefties used the monster. Smoked a pinch hit, RBI double off the monster to score Wilson. Brett Harris followed up with a rope to left to bring Soderstrom home. And that was it, man. Jeffrey Springs hung in there. He didn't have his best stuff, but he hung in there. He was good enough. He played tough. Mitch Spence came in for the first time. Where did Mitch Spence come from? I mean, what was Mitch Spence doing? I didn't see that coming. I mean, I was saying, well, why don't we bring in Spence? And right off the bat, Spence got hit hard in the fifth. Those outs were hard. And then all of a sudden, he started throwing that heavy sinker. He started jamming guys. I mean, he looked incredible. Shocked me. I didn't see that coming. Hogan Harris. How often I've been talking about Hogan Harris. I said Hogan Harris could be a closer for this team. I've talked about Hogan Harris since the beginning of the time. One of the few things I've actually been right on. He coolly recorded the final 4 outs for his 3rd save. The Red Sox were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. You know, one of the better wins of the year, 2-1. It was nice to see us get it done when we didn't have our bats going. We got plenty to cover today. I got a little bit of news for you that I should have covered on today's show earlier with regard to the Vegas Stadium. No big news, but there is some that I'll talk to you about. Midland, game 1 of the playoffs today. Leo Narváez went yard. I want to cover that game. They got off to a quick lead. Tell you what happened. Of course, Hogan Harris, man. What's your ceiling on Hogan Harris? Is saying Hogan Harris the 2026 closer? Is that out of line? I don't know. I've been preaching it for a while, and it's nice to see him getting his shot. Happy about that. And how about the A's? 5 in a row. All big games are seriously playing the role of Dreamcrushers. Right now, as we speak, as I speak right now, I'm not saying over the whole year, but right now, I think the A's are the best baseball team in all of baseball. The best team in all of baseball. I don't think that is a stretch by me saying that. I'm saying today. I'm not saying over 162. Today. I don't think anybody wants to play the A's today. They're playing loose. They're playing young. They're playing fast. They're pitching. They're hitting. Last team I think anybody wants to play. What do you guys got? George, what a great win. Yes. Good evening to you. Bob, how are you, buddy? The A's have the least errors in all of Major League Baseball since the All-Star break. I did not know that, Bob. Thank you for that. We need to get to 500 by tearing up the 3. It's going to be tough, right? But who knows? 11 games left. We're 71 and 80. Oh, that means we have to go 10-1. Who knows? Bamboo. Cheers, Booney. 5 in a row. Tereshon, Gage Jump absolutely killed it today. Yes, sir. Gage Jump. Good for him. 5 2/3. 4 hits. 1 walk. 8 strikeouts. After coming off 4 awful outings in a row, Gage Jump showed what he was about in a playoff game. He showed he was a gamer. Midland had a 6-0 lead in that game. They barely hung on to win that. 8-7. Absolute barn burner. Absolute barn burner. Springs picked Fenway to keep the ball in the yard. Go figure, right? What's up, Jeremiah? I love playing Spiler. It's all we got right now, Jeremiah. It's all we got. 11 games left. This is our World Series, pal. Harris think we got something there indeed. I think Hogan Harris is a closer. Bob, only 16 errors the whole second half. Is that right? I didn't know we were playing that sound. That's good to know. I wonder if team morale increased amongst the relief pitchers after the Miller trade and they all had to band together and not rely on him. Yes and no. I think also, Salty, something has to do with playing with expectations, playing with something on the line versus not playing with anything on the line, right? And I've said it before in the past. I remain cautiously optimistic with regard to this team. Because, again, you got to remember, last July and August in 2024, we actually were better than this year's team. You go figure. September last year, they were terrible. But, again, when you don't have expectations, when you're out of it, it's easier to pitch. It's easier to hit. It's easier to play. I think we have a better team, obviously. But I've said it before. I'm cautiously optimistic. Cautiously optimistic. What name, though, right? Gage Jump. Unbelievable. Best name ever. Billy, just as long as we have a better record than the Giants. What are the Giants? I mean, Giants right now are in a barn burner. Bottom 9 leadoff guy just got on. Wow. 10-1, Bobby gets us to 500. That is correct. Idaho Falls Tiger. Did they win, huh, RD? Wow. I know the Ballers were up 3-0 in that game. Nutty. Game 1, yeah. It goes 2-3 series, though. 2 in Idaho Falls and 3 in Oakland. We make the playoffs if we didn't suck in May. Yeah, well, we did suck in May. When I come back, guys, think about it. Is Hogan Harris a legitimate closer? He's looked pretty damn good. He has not looked bad in any spot he's been in since he's had an A's uniform. And let's take a look at the numbers and the statistics in the Midland playoffs. I'll see you in a minute. This episode is brought to you in part by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. I've been playing Prize Picks lately, and it's such a fun way to stay locked in for the season. It's quick, easy, and honestly, my favorite way to follow along with football. I love checking projections like Josh Allen for more or less than 270 passing yards, or Saquon Barkley for more or less than 1 rushing touchdown. This week's max discounts include September 21st, Patrick Mahomes over half a passing yard. Download the Prize Picks apps today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Bamboo, by the way, R.I.P., rest in peace, Robert Redford. Oh, though it is a tough choice, The Natural, I think the best baseball movie. How about that bat? Wonder Boy, right? You know, as a kid, I had that as one of those wooden bats. I wrote it with a with a marker, Wonder Boy on it, and kind of made like a thunderbolt. Didn't work out, but hey, I tried. Brett Harris is our third baseman in 2026. I think he's going to compete for it, RD. Right now, if I had to pick somebody, I think Muncy is the guy, but I'd love to see Harris there. I still think Harris is the best defensive. I know he's the best defensive player in the organization, and he has a Gold Glove caliber type third base. Gold Glove caliber type glove at third base. Hogan's our closer, who's our setup guy. Bedeau, long relief. I don't even have Bedeau making the team next year, Timmy. This is who I got with regard to pitching. Let's pull it all up now again. I got in this right here, I have Perkins as the closer for next year. Hogan, Newcomb, we got to re-sign. Sterner, Ferguson, Michael Kelly. I got JT Ginn and Brady Basso. They could interchange as one of the starters. There's my 5 starters: Severino, Springs, Lopez, Luis Morales. I got Gunnar Hoglund. Don't forget about Gunnar Hoglund. He looked good when he did come up. He had his debut against the Marlins. He looked lights out. No, I don't got Bedeau in there at all. I don't got Spence in there at all. I don't got a lot of guys. Right now, I feel that's our 13 best pitchers if I had to choose a group right now. That's for sure. But, you know, again, I could see it going either way. It's a long way to go. Harris, Muncy, third base battle in spring should be interesting. I think Muncy's going to be there either way, Bamboo. I think even if Harris gets the third base job, let's say he starts hitting. We know we can do defensively. If that happens, I think Muncy goes to second. So I think Muncy's going to get it no matter what, right? Now, what happens in that situation? You know, I still have Harris, Muncy. I got Geloff, Hernandez, Wilson, Kurtz. Remember, Cortez can play some infield as well. Don't forget about Carlos Cortez, guys. Who knows? This team could be like the 70s A's. Yeah, John, you're absolutely right. Same type of feel, right? Remember, in 70s, they moved to Oakland. They came up all together. This is the same type of team. Look at all the guys that have come up together. From top to bottom, all these guys have come up together. Butler, Soderstrom, Wilson, Kurtz, Rooker, Langoliers, Cortez, Colby, McIver, Hernandez, Blade, Harris, Geloff. I mean, name me one free agent that we've signed. I mean, the two guys that we have that haven't come up together is Springs and Severino. And, of course, Jacob Lopez, obviously. But everybody else. Timmy, no question. Muncy right now is the favorite. It's his job to lose. But again, Muncy's going to be in there no matter what. It's on Harris whether his bat can come alive and he earns that third base job. If that happens, Muncy's at second. Harris is a better defender than anybody we can even consider at third base. Harris is ridiculous. Harris, when he was at Gonzaga, 2-time WCC Defensive Player of the Year. Guy's ridiculous. He is absolutely ridiculous. Let's move the big homage to third next year. St. Louis. Come on, buddy. Big homage to third base. Stop it. But I like Hoagland, but no Perkins. I don't have Perkins in the rotation. I got Perkins in the bullpen. But again, I think Perkins' ceiling hasn't even been close to being tapped yet. I love Jack Perkins a lot. And I wouldn't mind seeing him in the rotation, or I could potentially see him as a stopper or a setup man or whatever it is. Perkins has the stuff. But Harris has been impressive as well, and so has our bullpen in general. Our bullpen's been absolutely filthy as of late. Who gets that job? I don't know. I mean, are we going to sign somebody, right? What's going to happen this offseason with the collective bargaining agreement? There's a lot of people that think there won't even be a season in 2027. I mean, come on, man. It's a little scary. Who knows, though? We have to see how Hoagland recovers from his injury as well. Midland tonight, 8-7. 8-7. Whew! They were up 6-0 going into the bottom of the seventh. And the Sod Poodles from Amarillo come back and tie it. Excuse me. They pull within 3 going into the ninth. 2 with going into the ninth. Rockhounds put up 1. Rockhounds win 8-7 in game 1. DeVries 2 for 4 with a bomb. Struck out once. Tommy White 0 for 5. That's okay. He's been hitting. Kuroda Grauer, which I'm high on as well. Before we traded for DeVries, I had Kuroda Grauer as the second top shortstop, or whatever you want to call it, middle infielder, second to Wilson. Kuroda Grauer is a third-round pick out of Rutgers from last year. Real good. Real good. The other guy who went absolutely, and I've talked about him in the past, and you could see him on the ticker down low, I believe he's 27th or something, is Nate Nankill. Nate Nankill had a big game. 4 for 5, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. The guy's been raking all year out of Fullerton. I've talked about him in the past. Keep an eye on Nate Nankill. Nate Nankill could absolutely rake. He was drafted. When was Nankill drafted? Last year, I believe, out of Fullerton. 4th round, I want to say. 4th round. 7th round, 2023. I apologize. Out of Fullerton. And the guy can just hit. Gap to gap with juice. Has some pop. The big thing he has been missing is a little bit of pop. and he got it home today. Gage Jump. Can't say enough about Gage Jump. I'm looking forward to seeing Netter pitch, the kid we got from the Padres in the Mason Miller trade. I'm looking forward to seeing him pitch. He needs another outing too. Braden Nett, excuse me. Number 5 in our whole organization. The guy who blew the lead in Midland, Stevie Emanuels, out of left-hander, I want to say out of Nevada. Let me make sure on that one. I could be wrong. He's been a little shaky. No, 2020 5th-round pick out of Washington. Johnston is out of Nevada. Will Johnston. No, he's out of A&M. Sorry, guys. Adamiak out of Arkansas. He just got brought up from high A. Gave up 2 runs in a 2/3 of an inning. CD Pelham. Tamakoa has been getting hit all year. It's been basically a few of them got hit up to give up that 7. Gage Jump went 5 2/3. He looked dynamite tonight. Andrew the GOAT. Lucky win for the Athletics. Maybe. In 2026, position players and bench look deep. It's starters. We need upgrade. Bullpen look good. So starters. Yeah, got to get the starters from within. And I'm not sold on the bullpen yet. Sure, it's looked great the last couple games. But again, without expectation, playing for nothing, different than playing for something. When I come back, guys, get to the rest of your comments, questions, and yeah, there's a little bit of news coming out of Las Vegas that I do want to get to. Nothing crazy, but definitely worth covering. See you in a minute, guys. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they are worth, whether it's 401k, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you have put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categories of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. You can identify that you are not saving as much as you thought. Monarch helps you notice an inefficient investment allocation and discover forgotten 401ks from past jobs. I use Monarch to maximize investments, increase savings rate, and I can easily review finances with my partner and or financial advisor, keeping a clear view of my financial health week to week and long term. Don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person, but actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees. It takes all the fun out of it. That's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. You will always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. The app made it super simple. I could even see the exact view from my seat before buying. Priority fees are included. Know your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. I love zone deals too. Pick the section. Game Time picks the seats. And you save big. Honestly, it's faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other way I have bought tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. All right, Bob, let's jump into this. No, really, if you can get Narváez for under $15 million a year and plug him at leadoff, you can have a start of the order of Narváez, Wilson, Kurtz. All we need to do is improve. I love Narváez. I don't think it's going to take $15 million a year. I think it's going to be more like 20, 21. It's going to be a 3-year, $60 million deal, and I'd pay it. I love Luis Narváez. Where are you going to play him, Bob? What position are you going to play him at? That's the question. That's the big thing with your Narváez. He doesn't really have a defensive position. You got to DH him, then you got to stick Rooker in the outfield every day. I don't know. I like Narváez. I like him a lot. He's going to be expensive in order to come Sacramento, and I would pay it. Love him. I don't know where you play him defensively. Andrew the GOAT. Athletics are not going to win this series. The Red Sox are going to win it. Yeah, maybe. I tell you one thing about the Red Sox. Brochet and that kid that went tonight, Early, was that his name? That's a great one too. Red Sox think they're a little bit better than they are, though. They're not a great team. They're not a great team without Anthony and with a little bit more thump. They need those guys that are hurt right now. Until then, they're not very good. They're not a very good team. They left tons of runners on base today. They didn't play great defense. They didn't have great at-bats, and they got rolled. They may win the series. They may. Big one's going to be Giolito tomorrow. Need him to start. Need him to pitch. Last couple weeks, even when the losing dugouts burn, Zito, yeah, it's a Lucy vibe. Bill, Uriah's second base you're talking about? Can he play second base? Uriah is barely serviceable defensively. Am I wrong there? I don't know. That's the only thing. No, that's the only thing I'm worried about Uriah. I don't want to pay him $20 million a year for a slap hitter. I love Uriah, but he's expensive and he's a defensive liability. Can he play second? Everyone's going to say yes. But he's a liability defensively. He's not a good defensive player. He's like what J.J. Bleday is to the center field. Same type of deal. Patrick, these wins are bittersweet. Wouldn't mind getting better draft position now that we have a solid core. It's fun to win, man. It's fun to win. It's fun to play spoiler. It's fun to play with these kids. Bill, you like Arias at second. I hear you. Okay. Listen, like I said, huge fan of Arias. I think he's a traditional leadoff guy. I love traditional leadoff guys. I think he gets on base. I think he's a game changer. Do we really need another bat at this point? We don't have that kind of bat. I'm tired of the mentality of slug. I want Narváez. I like Wilson. I like the guys that get on base. I like Cortez. I love the at-bat he had tonight. I don't know. But the whole thing is, to your point, Timmy, I don't know if we spend that money on Narváez. But we have to spend money. And I think we could still, Tirashan, to your point, I think we could still extend our guys, and we still need to get somebody else. We got to spend about $38 million, I believe, this offseason in order to participate in revenue sharing. So he's going to spend that. On who? I don't know. Vegas Stadium. Let me talk about that real quick. Okay. Not huge news, but there is a development agreement between the A's and Clark County. Okay. What this basically is about, not a huge deal. It's about the Clark County Board of Commissioners introducing a law to approve the development agreement with the A's Stadium Group. Let me break it down in plain storytelling chunks so you can understand exactly what it is. What do you got here, Bill? You think Clark could hit enough to be on the team next year? Defensively, yeah. I mean, who else are you going to play in center? I think right now, as far as center field, you got to go Clark and Butler as like a platoon. I don't want to see Denzel in there every day hitting, no. And I don't want to see Butler in there against lefties. I would like to see a platoon in center field between Butler and Denzel. To me, that makes sense. It takes away both deficiencies. And, but yeah, he'll be in there for sure. He'll be in there for sure. He wasn't terrible hitting this year. All right. Fun fact. This day in baseball history. I love your this day in baseball history. Dave Winfield gets 3,000th hit. Wow. Paul Molitor gets his 3,000th hit. 1993 and 1996. 3 years apart. Both guys are from St. Paul, Minnesota. Wow. Okay, check this out. Let me read this again. Fun fact. This day in baseball history, September 16th, 1993, Dave Winfield gets his 3,000th hit. On September 16th, 1996, only 3 years later, Paul Molitor gets his 3,000th hit. 3 years apart on 3 years apart on the exact same day, and both guys are from St. Paul, Minnesota. Wow. Wow. That's impressive. That's pretty cool. I did not know that. News in Vegas Stadium. Let me get through this. Okay. The ordinance, again, there is a development agreement between the A's and Clark County. Now, what this means is that the Clark County Board of Commissioners is introducing a law to approve the development agreement with the A's. Let me break it down for you. This is the official first step in Clark County approving the A's new stadium near the Strip. Now, the A's ownership reached a deal with the county on how the stadium gets built and what responsibilities come with it. To make the deal legally binding, the county has to pass it as an ordinance, or basically a local law. So you got the director of comprehensive planning, who is Sammy Real, I believe, the county urban's plan boss. The developer, of course, is the A's. The decision makers are Clark County commissioners. And what it basically comes down to, again, is the agreement for a baseball stadium at the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana Avenue. Now, it isn't just about the building itself. It's how the building impacts traffic, infrastructure, and the surrounding area. Now, why is this step needed? Nevada law requires a development agreement like this to be adopted by ordinance. The county already granted a special use permit back in April, but one of the conditions was you could only move forward if you sign a binding development agreement. That is that agreement, okay? Makes sense? The board must make sure the deal checks several boxes, okay? The land use for the stadium is already approved. Infrastructure and services, for example, roads, utilities, police can handle it. The development agreement is the right way to manage the project. It aligns with the county's master plan. It fits the zoning rules. It benefits the public. It won't mess up surrounding development. So in other words, without this ordinance, the A Stadium project isn't formally approved. By requiring the development agreement, the county ensures the A's must address, like I said, infrastructure, traffic, neighborhood impacts, etc. All right. In other words, in plain English, here is what Clark County is basically saying. We already gave you a permit to build your baseball stadium, but you still need a signed agreement with us that says exactly how this project will work, how you will handle traffic and infrastructure, and how it fits into county rules. By passing this ordinance, we officially make that agreement law so that you cannot wiggle out of it later. That's basically what it is. And that passed That hasn't passed yet. They're set to have a meeting on it, I believe, in October, I want to say, next month sometime. But anyway, that's that. Back to agreement news, please. Okay, that makes sense. RD, not a huge amount of news there with regard to the agreement. It's basically a step that says, hey, Clark County is telling the A's you need to address all the infrastructure needs with regard to the stadium. As long as that's done, here's the ordinance. In October, we'll vote it into the law. That's what basically it is. If I put anyone up for trade, it's Clark for a 2-3 pitcher. If someone would buy it, I don't like platooning players because it isn't pleasant, or trade Butler. I don't want to trade for pitching, guys. I'm strongly against it. They are a ticking time bomb. I get what you're saying. And, I used to have a different opinion on that. It's just there's such a ticking time bomb. Pitchers get hurt. They're gone. 2 years, year and a half. It's just crazy right now. It's crazy. So I'm not with that. And yeah. Winfield was unreal, Bill. Unreal. And I saw DeVries Hover today, 2 for 4. Indeed, as I understand, the one and only was drafted by MLB, NBA, and NFL. I'm trading Butler before Clark is so bad, cost to run defensively, and with multiple. He can't hit lefties. That's the problem with Butler. I just don't want to trade for pitching. I don't want to trade any asset for pitching. Pitching is the most expensive, and pitching is the least dependable. You just don't know what you're getting with pitching, man. I mean, pitching's crazy, man. I mean, these guys are dropping like flies. Does Butler even have a trade value? No, he does not. So, he's been coming around as of late against righties. Listen, last month or so, Butler's been on fire, Patrick. He's been good. Not against lefties. He can't hit lefties. In other news, Vital Vegas guaranteed that F1 will never come back to Las Vegas. Turned out to be BS, and they are in our country. Yeah, he's a little nutty, dude. I don't know. He's a little nutty with his predictions, RD. Could the Mason Miller go down as the best trade ever in history if Leo is for legit? Listen, I think the Padres handled that trade correctly. And what I mean by that is I think prospects are meant to be traded for proven Major League Baseball players if you are in contention. And that's exactly what happened in this situation. Mason Miller's legit. The only thing I would say with regard to the Padres, I didn't think they needed to give up that much. I mean, for Miller, yes, probably. They wanted Miller bad. I get it. But maybe get like, who's the kid from Pittsburgh? And you could give up a lot less. That's the only thing. But I think the attitude of, hey, you trade prospects for proven Major League players is the right way to go. For the A's, they made the right trade as well. I think both teams made the right move. Starters are overpriced. I agree. We won't get anything valuable via trade unless we part with a top prospect, which we should not do. Correct. Angelo, Lawrence Butler can't hit lefties, but why does he watch all the strikes down the middle and whiff outside the zone? Because he can't hit lefties, Angelo. That's why. Do I think Mason can hold up as a starter? No, I don't. I mean, that was the intention for the A's. The A's had to babysit Mason Miller for quite some time. I just don't see these arms holding up. What arms have held up? What power arms during this time have held up? Everybody's getting Tommy John. Everybody's getting hurt. I don't know. You disappointed in the soul of the crowded A's games in Sacramento this year? Yes, I was. Yeah. 100%. Hey, listen, I even think that, granted, the A's put a lot of Fisher put a lot of it on himself. I don't care what anybody says. I don't agree with them not taking the name Sacramento. I just don't, and I won't. No one will convince me otherwise. With that being said, even if they did, it was too close to the Bay Area. It was too close to the media that's covering. I don't think the vibe would have changed. I think it would have been the same. And yes, I was very disappointed in the vibe in Sacramento. I thought it was going to be more explosive. I thought it was going to be louder. It wasn't. It was bad. And again, we could talk about the team adopting the city, etc. I don't think it would have mattered. The negative attitude coming from the media made it impossible. I love Mason Miller, what we might not see in an arm like that in a long time. I always felt he was one pitch away from blowing his arm out. Yeah. I love Mason Miller. You talk about a guy, one of my favorite, I don't know if you guys remember, last year in the first half of the season, we had Lucas Ursay as our setup guy and Mason Miller as our closer. What was ironic about both that is that both kids, Ursay was a Division II kid, and Mason Miller was a Division III kid. I thought that was the coolest thing. What a perfect fit for the A's. And I wanted Miller. I wanted to keep Miller. Problem was, if you're losing, what good is Mason Miller is like a Ferrari. What good is a Ferrari if you keep it in the garage all night long? Please do an episode what you think, who you think we'll be saying goodbye to over the winter. As far as, players, good call. I don't think many. I don't think we're going to be saying goodbye. I think, for example, Austin Wynns is probably gone. Well, we still have team control over Wynns. I can't think of a player we don't have team control over. Yeah, with regard to the closers, the arms. Aroldis is the only one. Correct. You're right about that, Angelo. And Chapman stayed in one role. I think closers can survive a little bit more. But I can't think of one power arm in this generation. I'm not talking about a while ago. In this generation, that has not gotten hurt for a long period. I'm talking a long period of time, like a season. 6 months. Name me one. Who's one power arm? Think about it. I'm trying to think of it right now. One power arm that's lasted his career. Let's say he has to be in the league 5 years, which isn't even up for arbitration yet. 5 years. Excuse me, which isn't even up for free agency in 5 years. So that's not even who's one power arm? Starter. I'm talking about a starter. Aroldis is amazing. Vegas, Rivera, correct. Again, another reliever. The relievers can do it. You can watch a reliever, but I'm talking about a starter. You look at Jacob deGrom. The Rangers did everything they could. Everything they could to babysit him, pitch count, inning count. And even him, man. Geno Smith, how was the vibe at the game last night, RD? How's the vibe? A lot of fun? Mario, he was not quite the power arm. More of that cutter. He was pretty filthy, though. Royded Clemens, right? So I don't know, man. Tough to say with regard to power arms, and I just, like I said, I don't want to trade for pitchers. I don't want to sign any starting pitching in free agency. I don't want to do any of that. Pitching needs to be built from within. And I think we have enough. We've drafted well that we can do that. That's my personal opinion. Doesn't make me right, that's for sure. The AJ pucked is out. Oh, man. Well, hey, Patrick, we got Blade for it, right? 5 was no good, huh? Bad game. Yeah, it was. You think we'll get any coaching staff changes? No, I don't. All those guys are Kotsay guys. Kotsay's the loyal dude. He's going to stick with them. Upper management won't interfere. We'll stick with them. I think every single player we sign in the offseason should have playoff experience. The Mulder A's cast interview about the car. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that too. That definitely does help. That definitely has help. We got to see who we're going to sign. Mariano's cutter's top, I think top 5. It's arguably the best pitch ever, Bamboo. It's arguably the best pitch ever. We're talking about the most dominant closer of all time who made his career on one pitch. They knew it was coming, and they couldn't hit it. Kotsay is coaching now. He's playing to win. Yeah. It was fun today, guys. 2-1, man. These are the type of games we haven't gotten all year, man. I think back to Friday night and JT get on the hill. I'm like, okay, here it comes. I'm waiting for the implosion. We pull it out. Sunday, we don't come back from that usually. And then today, same thing. Mitch Spence came in. I'm like, here we go. He's ready to give it up. And he came through. And we did just enough offensively to pull it out. I still don't know what Cora was doing pulling that kid. That's for sure. He was filthy. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. 3:45 start. Midland has the day off. And we'll get back after tomorrow. What do you got here, Angelo? We need some high-level pitching prospects. Remember back, Sonny Gray? We do. We have that right now, bud. You think about it. Look what we have. You have Jamie Arnold. You have Gage Jump. You have Luis Morales. Another kid not many people have been talking about. Junior Tur out of Cuba. Remember that name. He's been nails all year long in AA. He pitched tonight in AAA Vegas and absolutely dealt. Junior Tur. I don't want you to forget that name. Junior Tur. Might be better than all of them. Keep an eye on him. Remember that name. He was filthy tonight for Vegas. Filthy. Take care, fellas. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen every day. For your second listen, find the all-night Locked On MLB game night. Every game, every night, until a World Series champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB game night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast.